Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. Today is a fun one. Never do you think you will have ChatGPT together with comparing characters in Honkai Star Rail, but that's what we have for you today. Have you ever wanted to maybe learn a new technology like AI, which is like the whole craze, and prompt engineers actually earn a ton of money? In my day-to-day personal professional life, I use ChatGPT and AI quite a bit, as well as generating a lot of prompts. So I'm going to be sharing with you using this perfect engine, how I actually am going to analyze Luocha and Silver Wolf side by side and have a conversation with ChatGPT for you guys to learn not only how they answer, you can see how they think as well in terms of the logic, but also maybe teach you how to key in certain prompts in ChatGPT as well, that you can be equipped maybe in your studies, in your career. Never harmful learning a new skill, especially when it's interesting and something that we can all relate to in a game as well. So I have prepared a little bit of queries that I have here, which is I'm going to just basically talk about set the setting for ChatGPT to understand what it is. I describe a bit of the kit, and I'm asking them to compare side by side these two characters and which is a logical pick of what is better. Of course, let's see what they say, and I'm going to add in a little bit more prompts to show you how it can change up as well. So they have chosen Luocha as the more valuable pick compared to Silver Wolf. So here's why they think so. Firstly, they feel that the healing and support role is important. In a team-based games, healer is crucial. Luocha does feel the role of healing. Yes, I think it's pretty decent. Okay, I'm going to scroll out and interrupt them a little bit. A team of 4 generally needs at least one healer, and having a reliable source of healing greatly increases the term's survivability. Okay, I think this is a pretty meh, and it doesn't really give us much context into Honkai Star Rail's situation. Overall, just talking about some traits that have no real additional value add that they are being giving so far. Okay, so I have actually typed a little bit of additional information for ChatGPT here, and this is commonly done especially when you realize that giving too much information that is very descriptive about certain things don't really add value because the amount of information you get is very generic. So here I'm adding in more specific information together with personal bias as well, and this is how you are able to get, for example, more information. So I say clearly here, Silver Wolf pros is she helps a player save resource, and she reduces the game requirements of having multiple elements to tackle content, and she also reduces single enemy resistances. So very generic assumptions that the AI can take into account because they can't seem to be able to get the fact that Silver Wolf actually saves players resources. So we have to spell it out for them, and that's where the human input comes in. Luocha is generally known to be a best in slot healer with offensive abilities and a rare element, which is what I told them previously, and he has the ability to heal, cleanse, and remove enemy debuffs. So after describing the characters a bit more in depth, I'm now going to talk about in terms of what is the game state. Given that the game is currently new, resources are few and players have to make a choice between which character to choose, as there are only 2 other healers in the game right now. One is a tank and also a tank alternative, which is Jett. 2 of 3 alternatives for Luocha are very rare, with less than 3 out of 7 because the chance of pulling a 5-star character, I just use that assumption like 2 out of 7 5-star characters, so less than 3 out of 7 chance that a player has either one of them, meaning that a majority, 4 out of 7 players, only have 1 healer in the game. Generally, we also lack a lot of resource into the game as well because the game is new. So rank the characters against each other and summarize your reasons in less than 50 words or less. So let's see what ChatGPT has to say with this new information. So based on new information that we have given, this is the revised ranking. Luocha, with limited healers and alternatives in game, Luocha's combination of healing, offensive ability, rare element and utility makes him the top choice still. They still believe that Luocha is the top pick. He provides essential healing, cleanses, remove enemy buffs, and offers a versatile kit for players, making him invaluable in resource limited scenarios. So they do feel that in the long run, even factoring in a lot of things, they still think that he's going to be valuable. Silver Wolf, while she's able to reduce enemy resistances and save resources by exploiting enemy weaknesses is useful, the scarcity of healers and limited resources in the game prioritize the necessity of building strong healers like Luocha. Healing and sustain are critical factors in team success. So this is in a sense where healing is of utmost priority. Then it, of course, Luocha outperforms. So we can certainly see the bias of this AI engine so far. So what I want to do actually is I want to tweak it up. I'm going to ask them instead, since they're already having a lot of huge priority on healing, name a situation where Silver Wolf outperforms. A situation where Silver Wolf outperforms Luocha is when a player already has a reliable and strong primary healer in the roster, and their team composition will benefit greatly from resource saving capabilities and damage amplification. In this situation, players' primary focus will be maximizing damage output and exploiting elemental weaknesses rather than relying heavily on healing and sustain. With the presence of a primary healer, Silver Wolf's ability to reduce enemy weaknesses and save resources will become a valuable asset in optimizing teams' damage output and clearing content more efficiently as well. So it's pretty interesting so far. Now let's give a bit more clarity. Let's ask a few more questions to it. So assume that I have 4 players. Player number 1 is a free-to-play player with very limited resources. Player number 2 is also a free-to-play player but has already 2 healers but wishes to pull to get a character in future that may synergize with Luocha. So I just make it a bit more tricky for them, giving some scenarios as well. Player number 3 is a player who has a lot of financial resource. Player number 4 is indifferent and irrational. So this adds a wrench in the plans to see how they justify it as well. So let's go ahead and take a look. So player number 1, Shield Guardian. Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to just stop them here. He has no idea. Luocha or Silver Wolf. Please correct your analysis. Okay, so now they actually finally given a better answer. So player number 1 recommends for a free-to-play player with very limited resources, Silver Wolf. As a free-to-play player with limited resources, Silver Wolf will be a suitable choice. Her ability to reduce enemy resistances and exploit elemental weaknesses compensates for lack of diverse elemental options, making her a cost-efficient character with strong damage potential. I agree with ChatGPT here. And player number 2, I have no idea what is this Elemental and Enchanter. This character will be a good future choice for player 2 as they already have 2 healers. The Elemental Enchanter could synergize with Luocha by providing element... Oh, okay, so in this case, they even went out the boundary by not even choosing between Luocha. So okay, let me just refresh that. So as you can see, the prompt engineer is really responsible for getting the prompts as correct as you can, and I'm just like showing how I'm doing it. So same, this one doesn't change. Next, the player number 2, which actually has already 2 healers in the game, as we asked over here. It's also a free-to-play player but has 2 healers and wishes to get a new character in future that may synergize with Luocha. I'm trying to like suggest Blade here for any one of you who are looking out as well. So player number 2, Luocha, with 2 healers already in their roster, Luocha will become a valuable addition. This makes absolutely no sense because he's best in slot healing, offensive abilities, and rare element make him an excellent choice to synergize with existing healers and provide versatile support. Okay, this is absolutely wrong. So they can't really factor in, for example, if the player already has everything and is like planning for the future. I think you need to have more information on Blade as well, then they're able to form a better decision. So 1 is okay, I agree with 1's justification. 2 seems a little bit off. Player number 3 is a wealthy player who has everything already, has a lot of resource but wants to choose now. They're actually recommending a wealthy whale player with ample resources. Luocha is still the recommended choice. With the ability to afford most characters, prioritizing Luocha ensures the acquisition of the best in slot healer with offensive abilities, providing a player with unparalleled healing and support options. So this is definitely, I would definitely agree with this as well. For a more wealthier player with more resources, I do think that Luocha would slightly stand out, especially when played side to side, because Silver Wolf is skills better earlier into the game when you don't have much resources. So player 4, an irrational player. For an indifferent or irrational player, the choice between Luocha and Silver Wolf can be subjective. Both characters have unique advantages and playstyle. Luocha offers strong healing, offensive ability, and rare element. So this they're just summarizing it. So they do recognize that for irrational people and have no regard for logic, it is subjective and based on bias as well. So one thing to note, of course, is all these proposals that I have here, they are completely biased because they are affected by my inputs. For example, here I inputted what the players are. I also inputted, for example, what are the exact characters, what are they known for. So for example, if you guys and this is why, for example, content creators will still be very relevant in terms of different opinions, and it's nice to see what the AI eventually will propose, but note that the inputs, and I can ask ChatGPT to also explain it to us instead of me elaborating it. So what are some flaws of your assumption. Exactly, so this isn't scripted, I'm not even cropping the video out, but they do say that lack of information is one of the key flaws over here, because based on whatever they understand of the game is my input as well. Game balance updates, of course, is very important. The assumptions are based on provided information. That's why we all like to look at forward information and leaks and stuff like that, so we also get more added information that is not pumped into this analysis here as well. Personal preference, individual playstyle, of course, whether you are waifu collector, husbando collector, those matter too. And meta shifts, the assumptions do not consider potential shifts in the game meta or prevailing strategies. The effectiveness of strategies here, of course, can change. So they do acknowledge that whatever is in the game meta right now does change over time, and a lot of players need to understand that as well. And last but not least, resource management doesn't fully consider long-term resource management aspects of the game. Silver Wolf or Luocha may still be a strong choice initially, but as the game goes by, it might be slightly different as well. And of course, that's where we come in as a channel to teach you in terms of resource management. I have plenty of guides on the channel, team composition guides as well. You guys can take a look. I do basically the work that you see here to help pump it up for you guys. And okay, now the part that I really am curious to see is, let's talk about power creep. I'm literally just going to type that out. Let's talk about power creep. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the greatest probability of power creep, rank both characters assuming an average turn-based game, and justify why in less than 20 words. Silver Wolf's debuffing ability and resource efficiency are relatively balanced and not inherently prone to power creep. Her role as a single target damage amplifier is well defined and less susceptible to significant shifts in her power dynamics. They're very fantastic. They do spot it out that Silver Wolf is a very unique character. And Luocha 7, combination of healing, offensive and rare element makes him more susceptible to power creep. Healers often undergo balance changes and the introduction of new characters, and of course here I think it's mainly because of these balance changes, the fact that they can get nerfed. Assuming that nerfs and buffs do not happen over time and only new characters are added, will that change your rating? If so, how will it affect it? If we assume that nerfs and buffs do not occur over time, then their rating significantly changes. I see. So now, okay, what's interesting is with new characters being added, both of them had an increased probability of being power crept, because now they are factoring in that there's a risk of new characters coming in. So slightly higher because of the introduction of new characters, perhaps with stronger debuffing or damage amplification abilities could overshadow her role. Her resource efficiency remains valuable. The game may introduce characters with similar or improved. So they are saying that she might be copied in terms of a kit and more may be added. But here, Luocha here, rating also increases and it increases quite significantly. Now it's like 8. Increases the addition of new healers and characters with superior offensive and healing abilities can potentially diminish his relative strength. So they are saying that based on their weighted average of probability, Luocha is slightly higher to power creep compared to Silver Wolf. And okay, that's enough for an AI's inference. If you want to know a human thought, my thoughts as well, in terms of comparing these two characters side by side, do check out these two other videos and you can compare them side by side in terms of this video here by AI and what I think as a human content creator in terms of filtering it through my brain as well. Of course, one thing to note is that AI is definitely here to stay. There's going to be more AI coming out in future, and I think learning this very early on and learning how to adjust and getting used to talking to the ChatGPT and crafting your prompts is very important for your career, or even, for example, if you wanted to improve your own efficiencies in your own lifestyle as well. I have another channel that I have actually made where I teach people about AI and how to do certain things. I've done a lot on like AI media already on the channel, and you guys can check it out. I'll be putting up more of these kind of educational content as well on the channel. It's called Strictly 9 to 5. Do support me on that channel as well if you like the way I present things, you like my thought process, and you also maybe want to get ahead in your career. Whatever it is, I hope that you found value in this video, and maybe it's a refreshing thing for a person who normally normally plays games. Thank you so much for watching. May the AI revolution do us all a good favor as well, and see you in the next video.